Hi, this is Antonio. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're gonna make croissants. Beautiful, flaky, delicious croissants. First, the ingredient. Flour, organic bread flour. It has a higher content of gluten. 30% hydration of natural yeast. Sugar, granulated, organic as well. Butter, we use European butter, which has a higher content of fat. Milk, salt, water. So, let's get started. Let's put the flour. We have 300 grams of flour in the bowls. I like to add my sugar right away. It's 80 grams of sugar, and then 200 grams of natural yeast. This is the natural yeast, 30% hydration. There is a video how to make the natural yeast. Just follow the link on the screen. And we just mix all the things together. Now we add the water and the milk. Add the butter little by little, more or less 1 teaspoon at a time. Wait for the dough to absorb all of it before adding new one. If you put too much, the dough might become a little wet. In that case, you can sprinkle some flour to get the dough again absorb the butter. Now the dough is ready, so that we can add the salt to the dough. It makes it the final touch. Our dough is ready, and we remove it from the bowl. Sprinkle some flour. And that's our dough. Okay, we're gonna work the dough a second with our hands, just a little bit. You should have a dough that is very elastic, like this. It doesn't break, and it's very well developed gluten. So we're working for just 30 seconds and make a nice bowl with it, and we're gonna cover in plastic wrap and put in the fridge to rest. Okay, we have our dough, and we're gonna put it in the fridge for 3-4 hours to rest. Alright, now we're doing the slab of butter that we'll be using to do our folds in the dough. I have here 275 grams of butter. Again, European butter has a bigger content of fat, and it makes the croissants more delicious. So I'm gonna use some parchment paper and whatever it's called in English. And now we're going to fill it up so that it becomes soft, and we spread it out. The slab of butter is ready. Now we're gonna put it in the fridge and wait a few hours. And we'll see you back in a few hours to continue making the croissants. So 4 hours pass by, we have our dough nice and cold, and our slab of butter nice and cold. You wanna leave it out 5 minutes just to get it not so cold. Some people leave the dough overnight. It's perfectly fine. It depends up to you when you want to, the timing of when you want to have the croissants. So now we're going to work the dough and incorporate the butter in the dough. Sprinkle some flour. We get our dough. It might be a little bit sticky. You use some flour, and gently you're going to press it and flatten it out. If the dough tends to be too elastic and come back to the original shape, just let it rest a couple of minutes and then work it again. So this phase, we want to fit our slab of butter in the dough. So now I can see I need to widen a little bit. This is our slab of butter. Put it more or less in the middle. Gently remove the parchment paper. And now we fold it like this and like this. And we try to close the pocket here. Make sure everything is closed so the butter don't go away. There. This is our pocket of butter. You want the side to go this way, and we're going to roll it this way. The butter is still a little bit hard, so I'm going to sprinkle some flour and beat up the dough so that the butter softens up. Make sure the dough doesn't stick to your working area. And just press, 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 press. Key thing at this phase is to spread the butter evenly. So if the butter is too cold, it will form some chunks. You will see from the dough. And if it's too hot, it will just melt and become once with the dough. So we just want the butter to be cold and gently roll the dough, and it spreads the butter as well. One, short. There, good. And this is our dough. Now we are gonna wrap this in plastic wraps so it doesn't dry, and we're going to put in the fridge for about 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, it's been an hour. Our dough is rested, nice and cold, so we are ready to stretch it out. Remember that the close fold goes on your right. We sprinkle some flour and we're ready to stretch. Before stretching, I lightly beat the dough so that the butter becomes softer and it really spreads out. Wrapping in plastic wrap again. There you go. And put it back in the fridge for another hour. This is our second fold. We'll do again the same fold in an hour. Okay, our dough is ready. Now we are just stretching and make the actual croissants. As usual, the close folded on the right. And again, as we did in the other videos, sprinkle some flour and lightly tap on the dough so that the butter softens up and doesn't get too hard. Now just take a knife and make triangle cuts to make our croissants. You can use the rolling pin to slightly make it bigger, and then we roll from the bottom to the top. And we stretch while we roll. And that's our first croissant. Now these are the croissants, they're ready to go to the oven. So we're going to cover them with a cloth, like this. And I usually put also some plastic paper so they don't dry out. And just put in the oven, and for this time I'm gonna put in the oven at room temperature without proofing mode, but they're gonna stay in the oven for the whole night. And tomorrow morning they'll be ready to go in the oven. Okay, our croissants have been proofed. I proof it for about 8 hours at room temperature. You will have to decide based on your temperature, your humidity, the yeast you used. And so we're going to give them a wash with a yolk and milk and put in the oven. Okay, we have 1 egg yolk. We add a little bit of milk. It's up to your taste if you want to be more milky or more eggy. I like it. Okay, our croissants are ready to go in the oven. I have the oven preheated at 425 degrees Fahrenheit on settings convection bake. Many people suggest to have baking static. I find that my oven works better with convection bake. You will have to experiment with your oven. And I'm going to put them for 7-8 minutes. I'm gonna put it in the cookie sheet to cool for a minute, and then we will cut open and see the inside. Okay, the croissants cool down for 5 minutes. Now we are ready to cut it. It's super flaky. It's exactly what you want. It's super light and crispy. Oh, look at that. Beautiful.